Yes, I'm trying to, Antonio, would you mind giving Chris Kasilka co-host status, please, so she can help track voting records? We have 118. I think that's the majority.
Yes. We're not going to redo the quorum count.
No.
Because this is a continuation of the meeting. It's just in a separate space. So the next item on our agenda for the meeting is action on the minutes of the March 2nd, 2020 Senate meeting 6. They've been distributed. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes?
Doesn't seem to be any.
Okay. Hearing none, the minutes are approved as distributed. And next we'll move to a very brief UAC chair's report. And I'm going to limit it to one item today, and that is to announce again that we are going to have a forum on an open forum on the revision of our general studies model. That's going to be next Monday from 3 to 4:30 in the afternoon. And we'll be sending around the link to that, of course. We already sent out a flyer related to it, but we will obviously circulate that again. I hope to see all of the senators at that forum, and I hope that you will encourage your colleagues to attend, participate as well if you know that they have an interest in this issue of the revision of our general studies model. I believe there are no other reports. So we will move to new business. Before we move to our action items under new business, we have some first reads to prepare you for the meeting on April 27th. These items are for information purposes only. Senators may seek clarification, but we're not debating them today. Full discussion is reserved for our next meeting. Lily Wang, CAPC Chair, will inform you now of upcoming curricular proposals. Lily?
Hi, Shirley. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. The following motions and proposals will be taken up at the CAPC meeting this Thursday, April 2nd, and then will be brought back to the Senate for a vote and at our next meeting on April 27th. So as always, if you have any questions, concerns, suggestions, please get them to me preferably by this Thursday so we can make sure that they are addressed at the CAPC meeting, and certainly let us know before the next Senate meeting so we can make sure that all parties that have an interest can be represented. The items listed in Appendix A will be brought up at the CAPC meeting, but will not be brought up before the Senate. So if you have any questions or concerns or suggestions, please get those to me by this Thursday morning. So here are the motions. Request from the Edson College of Nursing and Health Innovation for the establishment of a graduate certificate, food safety and protection. Request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of Mathematical and Statistical Sciences for the establishment of an undergraduate degree, BS in Data Science. Request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of Civic and Economic Thought and Leadership for the establishment of a graduate degree. Sorry? MA in Classical Liberal Education and Leadership. Request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of Social Transformation for the establishment of a graduate certificate, Disability Studies. Request from the Office of the University Provost, for the establishment of a new academic unit, College of Global Futures. Request from the Herberger Institute for Design and the Arts to merge and establish an academic unit, establish the New American Film School, merge School of Music and School of Film, Dance, and Theater to School of Music, Dance, and Theater. Request from the College of Global Futures for the establishment of a new academic unit, School of Complex Adaptive Systems. Request from the School for the Future of Innovation in Society for the establishment of a graduate degree, MS in Public Interest Technology. Request from the School of Sustainability for the establishment of a graduate degree, MS in Sustainable Food Systems. Request from the School of Sustainability for the establishment of a graduate certificate, Sustainability. Request from the Watts College of Public Service and Community Solutions for the establishment of a graduate degree, NPS in Community Development Practice. That's it. Thank you. Shirley, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Lily. If you have any questions or concerns regarding any of these upcoming proposals, please contact Lily, that's Lily Wang, or me. We have, so now we'll move on. We have 3 additional motions today for first reads. We will begin with Johanna Uriri Glover from the University Senate Student Faculty Policy Committee, which she chairs. Please remember that this is a first read only and is for information purposes at this point. It will be discussed at our next reading, but I will ask Johanna to briefly introduce it and read the motion.
Okay. I'm just going to briefly go over it. I wanted to start with some background information. We had received from the students a Senate Resolution 07 urging the university to remove voting barriers on election day, and they called it the Removing Voting Barriers Act. And as a result of a petition that was signed by 3,100 students, they supported having no class days on election days. So the students' government ended up with these following items on their resolution: having no graded classroom activities on election days, no exams scheduled on the presidential preference and the primary election days, allow no punitive academic measures to students who, with proof, miss class for purposes of voting or volunteering for events specifically oriented to voting. And so the resolution was sent to our committee and to the academic deans of each college. So we met with Trey LeVay, who is the president of the Policy Undergraduate Student Government in Tempe Senate, and asked him some questions, and we had a dialogue. We examined the data that was presented to you as part of this resolution to see what the ASU student voter turnout looked like, and it was actually overwhelmingly good. And we also want to look at what other universities were doing in addressing this issue. And we talked to faculty and students. I think with the students, it was, this comes from when they had to stand in line all of those hours, and then they had to decide if they're gonna stand in line and vote or go to class. And that was when something was happening with the election commission. So we wrote a resolution that supporting the goals of contributing to high student voter turnout by addressing unforeseen circumstances that may impede students' ability to vote. So the resolution consists of 2 parts. One part is what the students would be doing, their efforts to increase voter turnout. And and then how the faculty would respond. So what we found was that, you know, the undergraduate student government's efforts to increase voter turnout was really resulted in positive outcomes as indicated by the increased turnout rates when the voting rates were compared in 2014 and how they increased in 2018. So then the undergraduate student government petitioned and received actually ballot boxes to be located on the Tempe campus. So it shows us that they really was involved in, you know, trying to improve the voting outcomes for students at ASU. And so our resolution is saying that we as faculty, we want to maintain our academic freedom, but at the same time, we want to support our students that they will be able to vote. And that's pretty much what the resolution is trying to do.
Thank you, Johanna. I think you've given a good summary here, so I don't think it's necessary for you to read the resolution aloud today.
Okay.
Thank you to you and your committee for your work on this, and I look forward to our discussion of this motion for this resolution at our April 27th meeting. Okay, we'll be moving on. Next is motion 2020-75, a proposal to establish the University Senate Ad Hoc Committee, Digitally Enhanced Teaching and Learning. And I'm going to ask Caroline Harrison, who is president of the Tempe Assembly, and Samin Levinson, president of the Downtown Assembly, and also our University Senate president-elect, to introduce this motion.
Thank you very much, Shirley. Caroline, would you mind sharing the screen that includes the brief presentation for this proposal?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. All right, terrific. Well, good afternoon, everyone. This proposal comes from the early work that was done back in 2017 with the University Senate Online Education Task Force, in which Carolyn and I both participated. If you want to go on to the next slide. So we participated in this online task force, and over the summer when Caroline and I were the president-elect of our respective campuses, we worked on a project to further the work of that task force. And it became very clear once we started drilling down into the data and into the results of the questionnaire that there were several large issues that were looming that seem to be persistent today. And this has kind of lent itself to the planting the seed of developing this ad hoc committee. So some of the issues include the need for faculty to provide input regarding digitally enhanced teaching and learning at ASU, the need for faculty knowledge regarding different types of technology that are used, the need for improved transparency with digital tools, the availability of tools, resources, and fully online education at ASU. And let's see, the need to provide better consultation or information on initiatives that could affect courses and programs. And so this would perhaps serve as a way to provide communication that flows in both directions or in different directions from faculty, from administration, from UTO, from Ed+. And so we thought it would be beneficial to be able to have a Senate-sponsored group to whom questions and related requests for consultation or RFCs could be directed. So these were some of the perceived issues that we found coming out of that 2017 survey, and that still exists today. And so we started working on this project back in July. If you want to go on to the next slide. Thank you. And so since that time, Carolyn and I have been working with Ed Plus, with members of UTO. We have worked with senators across different units at different campuses to get their input. We've worked with instructional designers, different types of faculty, and put together this proposal. We provided an earlier draft of the proposal to form an ad hoc committee presented it to the UAC, which was approved in the February 2020 meeting just last month. So it is with our goal that we would be able to propose and hopefully establish this ad hoc committee that would serve as a pilot to work out some of the procedures and membership that may form a more permanent standing committee. And so the goal of one of the other goals of getting an ad hoc committee into place this semester is to get it functioning so that we might be able to see how it would work out in terms of the membership and some of the different RFCs that could be addressed this semester. The next Senate session, the 2020-2021 session, will be the year that the University Senate bylaws will need to be revised. So this may be a good opportunity to lay the foundation for creating a permanent standing committee related to online or digital technology, digital learning and teaching tools. In my very brief Google search over the weekend to see if there are other standing committees within university and academic senates at different universities, I found that there were over 50 US universities that have committees within their academic senates that are formed around information technology and academic technology. All of the Cal State schools, many of the UC, the University of California schools, Berkeley, NYU, Columbia, Florida State. These are just a small sampling of some of the universities that already have Senate committees related to this. Caroline, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, so going over this, the functions of this committee, some of the things this committee will do, will first and foremost review any requests for consultation that have to do with education and technology, and then also field any. So for example, if something comes through having to do with technology in some way, but it is better handled or needs to be consulted with, for example, the library, this committee's job will also make sure that the right people, the right other committees are either given the RFC or involved with the RFC. So in essence, it's going to be a bit of a clearinghouse as well as dealing with things on its own. It's also going to review and advise on any technology matters that affect the faculty and students that come up, and will also serve as a vehicle for ASU Online and UTO and any other working groups that there are out there and committees who might want consultation and input. So for example, there is a group out there called the Instructional Technology Advisory Committee, made up of a lot of learning designers, learning management system people, UTO. They're often asking, okay, before we turn on a feature, can we consult with the faculty? Now they would be consulting with this committee, and the committee would get the information out to the rest of the faculty. There's committees on digital credentialing, on learning outcomes, and others that this particular committee would then be able to act as a liaison.
Caroline,
yes.
Caroline, this is Shirley. I don't think we need to go into a detailed presentation at this time. So
Certainly.
If you could just quickly move through the rest of your introduction, just enough for senators to have a heads up about the attention they need to give to this before the next meeting.
Okay, so all of this is in that proposal, so you can take a look at this as well. In terms of a lot of things, this committee does have many things that it might be looking at, but as we all have discovered, technology has become even more important than we thought it was 3 weeks ago. So this will provide that clearinghouse. The last thing to take a look at are what the membership guideline recommendations are, and these are subject to change and part of what we want to pilot. And it is important to notice that any members of the Academic Assembly, as appointed by the chair, will be eligible in terms of being on this committee. And we will also make sure that there are non-voting members, including UTO, ASU Online, so that it can move quickly and we can get to the people that we need to. If we determine that it would be helpful to have others, that will also be added to it. So that would be the overall presentation. That would be it.
Unless there's a request specifically for clarification, that's all we need at this time. Caroline, thank you. I'm going to ask the senators, obviously, to go ahead and look over the proposal itself. We will be discussing this and voting on it, scheduled for the April 27th Senate meeting. Thank you so much to Caroline and Samin for their work on this. This has been a long-term effort, and I personally am really pleased to see this getting some traction and on its way to being presented to the Senate for a vote next month.
Shirley, if I just may very quickly mention that earlier, there was an earlier version of this proposal that was posted on the Senate website, and it has since been updated with a more recent and edited version. So if you haven't checked the website recently, please check it before the next meeting. That's all. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that, Samin. I want to underscore that the version of the motion that was posted on Friday was not the most recent one at the time, and we've now substituted it with the version that will be discussed next month. So thanks again to you both. Okay, next and final item on our first reads is a resolution of appreciation. As this is a resolution of appreciation, which we wish to express in a timely manner and does not require senators to consult with their constituencies, I am hereby calling for a motion to suspend the rules related to a first and second read so that this motion can be treated as a second read today and acted upon today. Do I hear such a motion?
Yes, so moved.
Okay, it's been moved by
Penny.
Penny. Sorry, it's been moved by Penny, and thank you, Penny. Do I hear a second?
I second it. Sure. Chat.
Okay, we have several volunteers to second. I think I recognize Greg Stone's voice. Thank you, Greg. A motion has been made and seconded to suspend the rules and treat motion 2020-62 as a second read. I'm going to ask Maria to prepare that motion for us to vote on it. This motion is not debatable, and it requires a 2/3 vote. So Maria, if you would put that poll up for us as soon as it's ready, we will go ahead and vote on it.
It's ready now. Should be on your screen.
Thank you.
I'm going to be closing the poll. The motion passes with 108 votes on yes.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. The motion to suspend the rules has passed by a sufficient majority. I'm going to ask Caroline and Penny now to present motion 2020-60, resolution of appreciation.
All right.
2020-62.
Okay, so first we are going to start by saying that the UAC asked the University Senate to join us in acknowledging everyone, faculty and staff, who have gone above and beyond in supporting all of us during this challenging time. In particular, we want to acknowledge Lev Gonik, our Chief Information Officer, for his leadership, Kyle Bowen, our Executive Director, Learning Experience, for helping steer our response to our new remote learning reality, and Samantha Becker, our Executive Director, Creative and Communications, who is handling UTO and university communications and virtual conferencing. But we also need to give a shout out to everyone in IT, our instructional designers, those managing the myriad of communication channels that are so vital to our functioning, the amazing staff that are running our training sessions and fielding countless requests for assistance, those keeping the labs functioning, the team handling our analytics, and those working tirelessly to prevent bad actors and malware threats to our systems. There are so many people that are critical to our success at ASU during this period of remote learning. None of what we are accomplishing would be possible without the resourceful and tireless University Technology Office team. On behalf of the UAC, Carolyn, Harrison, and I are introducing Resolution 2020-62 in support and appreciation of the UTO, which reads as follows. And I will allow Carolyn to now read the resolution.
Thank you.
Whereas the Arizona State University UTO team has worked tirelessly delivering unparalleled support to all faculty, staff, and students, and whereas the University Technology Office researched, developed, adapted, and maintained multiple technologies to facilitate remote learning in an impressively short time frame, and whereas the learning designers and technologists at the university level and in individual units have openly shared knowledge, insights, and wisdom with faculty and staff across the institution. And whereas the university technology team has exhibited extraordinary responsiveness to the rapidly evolving situation, and whereas the university technology team and learning designers across all units have rapidly developed extensive resources and toolkits and ensured their availability to all colleagues and faculty, and whereas the university technology team and learning designers across all units and campuses have worked together diligently to solve challenges expeditiously, and whereas the university technology team has maintained a positive and professional attitude despite the pressures and inspired others to do the same, and whereas the University Technology Office has kept strong and clear channels of communication open to all through Slack, email, and countless valuable web pages, and whereas the University Technology Office has sought to focus on the positive outcomes in these challenging times, and whereas the University Technology Office has created and delivered invaluable training designed to help those new to remote learning and teaching to close to 3,000 faculty and staff in 1 week, be it therefore resolved that the Arizona State University Senate highly commends and applauds the outstanding service and support provided by the University Technology Office on all of our campuses, which has allowed the whole of Arizona State University to responsibly react to this challenging time as we move to remote learning for the spring semester 2020.
Thank you, Caroline, and thank you, Penny. We will now move to discussion and debate about this resolution. If you have, in order to help us organize discussion, if you have a comment or question, would you please notify your campus president in a chat message, and then I will call on our respective campus presidents. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Well, a few seconds. Okay, I'll begin with downtown. Samin, have you received any notice that anyone from the downtown assembly wishes to speak to this motion?
I have not, Shirley.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to the Poly campus. Yun, have you received any notice that anyone from the Poly assembly wishes to speak to this motion?
No, I haven't. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll go to Tempe. Caroline, have you heard from anyone who wishes to speak to this motion?
No, I have not.
Okay, thank you. And then finally to West. Ken, anyone from the West Assembly? Ken, I'm not hearing you.
Can you hear me now, Shirley?
Yes.
My apologies. I have no questions on this.
Okay.
I have no questions on the issue.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Then we can, since there's no debate, we can now vote on this resolution. Maria, if you would prepare the vote.
Launching the poll now. Closing the poll. The motion passes with 104 votes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Maria, and thanks everyone for your timely vote on this time-sensitive resolution. And thank you to Penny and Caroline for putting that resolution together for us. We're now going to continue to our second reads on our agenda, beginning with our new course proposal consent agenda. This was distributed via email on March 17. Is there a request to remove any course from the consent agenda? And here I'll give you a few moments to notify your campus assembly president if you wish to remove any course proposal or any program proposal from the consent agenda.
Shirley, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I've had a faculty member ask that we remove proposal 2020-52, the Spanish PhD in linguistics, from the consent agenda.
Okay, that is removed. We do that just upon the request that it be removed. We don't need to vote on removing it from the consent agenda. Are there any, thank you, Ken. Are there any other requests?
This is, that's for CAPC though.
Yeah, that's for CAPC. We are talking about new course proposal right now. So the motion 2020-52 is for CAPC. We haven't,
okay, thank you.
mentioned it yet.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that clarification. We're talking about the course. That's my mistake. I put the wrong word in there. We're talking about the new course consent agenda, not the new program consent agenda. So let me ask again. Thanks for your patience. Let me ask again. If anyone wishes to remove any item from the new course consent agenda, please notify your campus assembly president, and then I will check with each of the campus presidents. I'll give you a few seconds to get that. While we're waiting, Lily, you could go ahead and read the motions. That will give us a chance to confirm what it is we're talking about, and also give people a chance to notify their campus presidents. So Lily, if you would go ahead and read. Sorry for the
Okay,
interruption.
thank you, Shirley. So the following proposals were approved at the last CAPC meeting on March 5th. Request from the College of Health Solutions for the establishment of an undergraduate degree, BS in Population Health. Request from the College of Health Solutions for the name change of an undergraduate degree from BS in Nutrition to BS in Nutritional Sciences. Request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of International Letters and Cultures for the establishment of a graduate degree, PhD in Spanish Linguistics. Request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of Earth and Space Exploration for the establishment of an undergraduate degree, BS in Astronomical and Planetary Sciences. Request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of Geographical Sciences and Urban Planning for the name change of a graduate certificate from Transportation Systems to Transdisciplinary Transportation Studies. Request from the IRA Fulton Schools of Engineering, School for Engineering of Matter, Transport and Energy for the establishment of a graduate degree, MS in Modern Energy Production and Sustainable Use. Request from the Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College, Educational Leadership and Innovation for the name change of a graduate certificate from English as a Second Language to Educating Multilingual Learners. Request from the Watts College of Public Service and Community Solutions, School of Criminology and Criminal Justice for the establishment of a graduate certificate, Homeland Security. Request from the Watts College of Public Service and Community Solutions, School of Community Resources and Development for the establishment of an undergraduate degree, BA in Community Development. That's it. Thank you, Shirley.
Okay, thank you, Lily. We do have some confusion here. It appears that we skipped over the new course proposal consent agenda.
I have it ready. I can launch it right now if you're ready.
Okay, let's just make sure everybody knows what we're talking about right now, and apologies to everyone.
Yes, so the poll that it's about to come in front of you is a new course proposal. So this will include, this is Senate Motion 2020-61. This is the courses that was sent via email for the first read earlier in the month. So I'm gonna be launching that right now, and that's where you're voting on, Senate Motion 2020-61.
Okay, thank you. This is the new course proposal consent agenda. Those courses, that list of courses was circulated
March 17th.
March 17th. And let me, I don't want to rush anyone into just voting on all of these at once. Before we conduct the vote, let me ask if there's anyone who wants to remove an item from the new course proposal consent agenda.
Shirley, this is Ken from the West Campus.
Yes.
Yes, I have been asked by a faculty member to remove motion 2020-52, which I believe I am doing it at the right time. No, I'm sorry, I'm not. My bad.
That's fine. That's fine.
I think, Shirley, I think for the new course, did you ask all the campuses? If it doesn't appear to be any one.
Okay, I will ask each of the campuses if they've heard from anyone who wants to remove an item from the consent agenda for new course proposals. Downtown.
Nothing from downtown. Thank you.
Thank you, Simin. Polly.
Nothing from Polly. Thank you.
Thank you, Yun. Tempe.
Nothing from Tempe.
Thank you, Caroline. And West.
Nothing from West.
Okay, thank you. We can proceed to a vote on the consent agenda.
Great, we have, let's see. The vote, the motion passes with 84 votes with yes and 0 no's and 6 abstains.
Thank you, Maria.
Yes.
Again, I apologize to everyone for the confusion that I've created. So let's move on. CAPC has 10 motions related to curricular proposals for your consideration brought as a consent agenda. Lily did read those out a few moments ago. And now I will ask, is there a request for any of these motions to be removed from the consent agenda in order to have further discussion? And Ken, I think now is your time to jump in.
Thank you, Shirley. I apologize for the confusion as well. But yes, I have been asked that we remove motion 2020-52 from the consent agenda.
And would you say what proposal that is?
This is the request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of International Letters and Cultures for the establishment of a graduate degree PhD in Spanish linguistics.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other requests for removal of items from the consent agenda? From any more requests from West? Other items to remove?
Nothing else from West to be removed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to the other campuses. Samin, downtown, any?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Yun, any other items to remove?
No, all items. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Caroline, any other items to remove?
I believe Phil Vandermeer may have an item to remove. Would you like to unmute and say which that is?
I was merely agreeing with removing motion 52 for the PhD in Spanish linguistics.
Thank you.
It's removed. It is removed, Phil.
Okay.
Okay. Hearing no other requests, I think I asked everyone for items to remove from the consent agenda. We're going to vote on the remainder of the consent agenda as presented. So
thank you, Shirley.
Thank you, Maria. If you would go ahead and offer that vote.
Polling number 5 states that this is going to be the revised CAPC consent agenda with the removal of Senate Motion 2020-52, which is the establishment of a PhD in Spanish linguistics. The poll is opening right now. Closing the poll. The motion passes with 101 yes, 2 noes, and 5 abstains.
Okay, thank you, Maria.
You're welcome.
A request has been made to remove 2020-52, which is the PhD in Spanish linguistics, from the consent agenda. So we will now take up the motion that was removed. Let me ask, we will hear a discussion of this item. So I'm going to ask everyone to go back and forth between comments in favor of the proposal, in favor of the program proposal, and those opposing the motion to approve the proposal for the program. And I will ask Lily Wang, Chair of CAPC, who brought this motion to the Senate, to begin with her statement in favor of the motion to approve this curriculum proposal for Spanish, PhD in Spanish linguistics.
Thank you, Shirley. So the proposal was first included in the CAPC consent agenda on February 6th. At the meeting, the proposal was removed from the consent agenda for further discussion. Upon deliberation and a vote by CAPC, this proposal was removed from the consent agenda until additional requested information is received. Then after the February 6th CAPC meeting, all parties provided additional information, and the information was shared with all CAPC members. An addendum was included with this proposal for the March 5th, 2020 CAPC meeting agenda that shows the timeline of events that CAPC has requested. Then at the March 5th CAPC meeting, this proposal was once again removed from the consent agenda for further discussion. Discussion ensured relative to this proposal until there was a call to question by CAPC. The call to question was approved by 2/3 vote. CAPC then moved to vote on the proposal, and the proposal was approved with a majority vote. So postponing this, vote on this proposal again will undermine the senators and the committee members that has studied this issue in depth, and will influence current and prospective graduate students. So I think we should be vote on this proposal in this meeting. That's why we are in favor of the proposal.
Thank you, Lily, for giving that summary of the CAPC deliberations and discussions of this curriculum proposal for this program. Let me now call for anyone who wants to speak against the motion to approve this curriculum proposal. I'll give you a few moments to signal to your campus president that you wish to speak against the motion.
Surely Cynthia Tompkins is requested.
Cynthia, although you are not a senator, I'm going to recognize you and allow you to speak against the motion.
This, I don't know if you see me and you hear me.
Yes.
Okay. We believe that delaying this proposal will not make much of, it will not harm students insofar as they have been admitted to the track for 5 years and they've done outstandingly well. We believe that the motion, the proposal has not included faculty input because on October 9th, 2017, and then on March 2018, Director Berman and Dean Langland basically created a unit of an independent unit of what was and remains a track in the Spanish graduate program. By so doing, any conversations about the proposed track in linguistics was foreclosed. They say that, and this is what won the vote in CAPC, that we were requested input at the Silk level. We, Spanish faculty in the literature graduate program, do not believe that that was the place to do it, insofar as they were not and still remain not being an independent unit, as was and is East Asian Studies, Comparative Literature, or the whole program in Spanish. So as you can see, the proposal does not have a letter from the Spanish section. That is another issue. The Spanish section has not analyzed the impact of this proposed PhD. We don't know what the ramifications are in terms of linguistics at the BA level. At the graduate level, we still don't know what the impact is going to be in terms of TAs. As I've shared with many senators, we have yet to have a meeting to discuss these issues. And we have been asking for it since the first time it was discussed at the class Senate meeting last semester. So I don't see any danger in terms of the graduate students, and I beg you to please consider granting faculty in Spanish literature and culture and faculty in the Spanish section at large a chance to discuss the repercussions of this proposed program in Spanish linguistics.
Thank you, Cynthia. Now I will call for comments in favor of the proposal. Let me ask.
This is Nina Berman. I'm the director of SILC. I would like to respond.
Okay, Nina, again, you're not a senator, but I will recognize you. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would like to thank you for your attention here. This proposal has been approved at all levels within the school, the class senate, and has been discussed twice by CAPC. Professor Tompkins does not represent the Spanish literature and culture faculty. She is speaking to you as the current advisor, but does not represent the majority of opinion within literature and culture. The various aspects she shared with you here have been discussed several times at all the different levels. The proposal was stopped once at the class senate. We responded to the various concerns, and then it was approved. And the same process happened twice now also at the CAPC level. So please be assured that the various concerns that were raised here have been addressed. This is a PhD that responds to a shifting job market in Spanish, and it will give the students who would graduate with this PhD a better chance on the job market because their degree would be acknowledged for exactly what it will be, a PhD in Spanish linguistics, which includes applied linguistics, and that's where there's an increasing demand. If they graduate with a general PhD in Spanish, it will in fact disadvantage them. And we have created a terrific curriculum that I think is in line with the demands of the job market and what our students want. Thank you.
Thank you, Nina. I'm very conscious of the clock running out on our Senate meeting time, so I'm going to ask if there is anyone from any of the campuses who wishes to speak against any senator from any of the campuses who wishes to speak against the motion. Downtown?
Nothing from downtown.
Polly?
Nothing from Polly, thank you.
Tempe?
Yes, Phil Vandermeer would like to speak.
Is he speaking against the motion?
Yes.
Phil, keep it short.
Okay.
Just conscious of the clock.
Well, there's a lot of information here in the materials that Cynthia Tompkins provided, and this isn't the place to go over all of the elements that are involved in the program. The central thing that concerns me is that it is not clear whether the Spanish faculty, that is the faculty who will be responsible for this degree, whether they agree, whether they have as a unit had the chance to vote for this proposal or not. And by that I mean the tenure track faculty, not lecturers. And I think that is an essential element in this. I understand that exactly how the internal operations of schools operate can vary, but it seems to me that in this case, it's both a question of faculty governance and a fundamental issue about how a program will be delivered that's at stake.
Thank you. It's now the turn for a senator to speak in favor.
Shirley, this is Caroline. I'd like
Caroline.
to speak as a member of CAPC.
Thank you.
And part of what went on during the CAPC meeting, we had a great deal of discussion from both sides going back and forth. CAPC and the role of the function that we have here in the Senate is to determine whether this proposal in and of itself is a good one, is workable, meets all of the criteria. We realize that there are internal processes that may not have been agreed to, but looking at the proposal itself, we approved it. In addition, those who were speaking against it at CAPC actually stated that they were in favor of this proposal and they had no specific issues with the curriculum that was stated in the proposal itself. And that was what our role as CAPC was, so we went ahead and passed it.
Thank you, Caroline. Any other senators who wish to speak against the proposal?
Yeah, I do.
Jose? Senator Mendez?
Yeah, thank you. I am familiar with this proposal because it goes back to my time as senator at the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. And so to bring you up to speed of the rest of the senators in a sentence, there is already a PhD in Spanish that has a linguistics track. So you can already get a PhD in Spanish linguistics at ASU. What this is the creation of a separate PhD program in Spanish linguistics that will be controlled by a subset of the Spanish faculty. But what I found very surprising is that nowhere in the documentation provided at any level, there were the statements from the faculty sort of left behind, especially because there is some heavy duty stuff here. For example, the new program uses the same SPA course prefix as the old program. And by the way, this seems to be a violation of ACD 305.13, which says, and I quote, the prefix should correspond to an element of ASU's curriculum that is administered by a formal programmatic entity. But be it as it may, what is even more remarkable is that this is being done, perhaps for the first time at ASU, without a statement from the sort of old faculty that, that they are fine with sharing a prefix. And if they were not asked, so imagine how would you feel if somebody at ASU create the program with your prefix and you don't even have a say. What appears to be the case here is there is a dispute, but in fact, from CAPC, we don't know that there was a dispute until this meeting, because if you can download the materials from CAPC and there is an addendum, but the addendum does not contain the objections from the faculty who just spoke. They are only responses. And secondly, even if they tell us what the dispute is, we don't have the technical capability to adjudicate any issue here. And we should not be put in a position of taking sides in something that affects the academic lives and careers of colleagues. So those things should be ironed out at earlier stages. And clearly they have not been ironed out. And so finally, so this Senate should not be in the business of legitimizing a process that disenfranchises some of our colleagues. So our primary function is just the opposite. So to uphold the principles of faculty governance. So I think for these reasons, I would urge you to vote no on this motion.
Thank you. We've heard statements from 3 people in favor of the motion and 3 people who are against the motion. 2 of those in favor are senators and members of CAPC. 2 speaking against our senators. I'm going to ask us to move to vote on this motion. Before we move to a vote, let me ask, is there anyone else who needs to speak to this motion? Bearing in mind that we have heard from CAPC the narrative of its review of the proposal and its review of the process.
Can you clarify, Shirley, what yes and what no means?
Yes. A vote yes is a vote to approve this proposal. A vote no is a vote to not approve this proposal.
To clarify, the poll itself will read as follow. This is Senate Motion 77. I just created this new motion, which we'll add to the website post this meeting. The question reads, do you approve to move forward with the approval of Senate Motion 2020-52 requests from College of Liberal Arts School of International Letters and Cultures for the establishment of a graduate degree PhD in Spanish linguistics? The options are going to be yes, no, and abstain. So a yes vote will approve this motion.
Point of order. Where does the motion go? If this motion is defeated, what happens to this proposal?
Lily, can you help us with that?
Shirley,
Yes.
is the question if this motion is defeated, where does the proposal go?
Yes.
Do you mean this proposal goes back to CAPC or something like that?
I think the question is does the proposal die? There's no motion to return it to CAPC.
I think maybe Denise can help answer that question. Is Denise too?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, thank you.
If the motion is voted down, then it dies and they'll have to start all over from the beginning. If it is, if somebody makes a motion to return it to CAPC with the suggestion that it return to class for continued discussion, then we can do that too. Then it doesn't die, it just gets put off.
Doesn't that sound like the better option?
That's up to the senators.
Shirley, move a substitute motion. And that is to refer.
Okay, is that Phil? I'll recognize you.
Okay. I would move that the Senate refer this back to the CLAS Senate to consult with the faculty, with Spanish faculty, and then to figure out a solution to this proposal.
Okay, Phil, we can't do that. Phil, we cannot, the Senate cannot return it to class. We can return it to CAPC with instructions to return it to class, but we cannot return it to class. Class has considered it and sent it forward to CAPC. CAPC has considered it and sent it forward to us. We can send it back to CAPC, but we can't send it back.
Okay,
to class.
I accept that as an amendment to my suggestion.
Okay, you want to restate your motion then?
I move that this motion be returned to CAPC with the instructions that they consult the Spanish language faculty.
I think you're going to have to be clearer because they have already done consulting.
With the Spanish language faculty?
No, they have not.
I'm going to have to ask some members of the CAPC committee.
I'm sorry, this is Nina Berman. May I speak?
I would prefer, Nina, to hear from the CAPC chair or another member of the CAPC committee about their response.
I think during the process, we've requested information from both parties in terms of, how this proposal proceed, whether they have gathered information from the Spanish faculty. And I think we reviewed the documents, the CAPC members reviewed documents. We voted that the procedure is considered, fair, transparent, and then that's why the CAPC members have voted to approve the proposal. So during the process, we have reviewed the information that's shared with us, with CAPC.
Thank you, Lily. Okay, Phil, back to you. Still working on a motion that is proper for us to consider. You're on mute.
The issue is not whether there was any input from any Spanish faculty. The question is whether or not there was input from the Spanish faculty as a whole, and it seems to me that what is at dispute in this issue. I don't know the votes among the faculty. None of us do, but since that faculty as a whole will be responsible for this proposal, I think we should hear what they think as a group.
This is Caroline, if I may, as a member of CAPC.
Yes, Caroline.
At the last CAPC meeting, we had representatives of both groups at the CAPC meeting making their case and stating what they felt in both cases, and CAPC voted to move the proposal on. The previous CAPC meeting, we listened to, again, the objections that were made, and those are the requests for clarification that we sent before we considered it for a second time. So we have sent this back already and requested clarification from all groups. I'm not sure if sending it back again will actually accomplish anything.
Shirley, Dave Wells, point of order.
Okay.
Maybe what we should do is table this and then we'll give it a month to have this worked out, and then they can report back and we'll vote on it then.
I think that needs to, the instruction that you're proposing, Dave, needs to be very clear. Who needs to talk to who? There's
no. If I move to table it,
CAPC's repeatedly said who they've talked to. So if we're tabling and there's instructions to the committee to do something, those need to be really clear instructions.
A move to table is not debatable. So this would be, we'd vote to table it, and then it'd be up to them to do their thing if they choose to do it, and then we'd vote on it next time. So I'm moving to table.
Okay, as a rule, we do not table motions. We postpone to the next meeting. So are you making a motion to postpone?
Yeah, I'm making a motion to postpone. Yes.
Okay. Is there that is in order? Is there a motion to postpone the vote on this proposal until the April 27th meeting?
I'll second that.
Okay, it's seconded by John Spence. Okay, Maria's going to need a moment here to prepare that motion to postpone.
Can someone provide me with language? So far I have, do you approve, so Senate Motion 2020-77 is being rewritten as Senate Motion 2020-77 regarding Senate Motion 2020-52, PhD in Spanish linguistics. The question that I'm framing so far reads, do you approve to postpone Senate Motion 2020-52, PhD in Spanish linguistics, to next Senate meeting? Do you want me to include better language than that?
That's close enough. I think it's very clear that this is to postpone the vote on the motion. I think you want to specify that it's April 27th for that next Senate meeting.
Very well, typing it right now.
Okay, if I could ask our parliamentarian, does this need a 2/3, this vote to postpone? Does it need a 2/3 majority?
No, it doesn't.
Or,
it's just
okay,
a simple majority.
Simple majority, okay. let's make clear, Maria is preparing a motion to postpone the vote on this proposal for the Spanish linguistics PhD. And that would be to postpone it to the April 27th meeting.
The motion is ready.
Okay, thank you.
Launching the poll. Closing the poll. The motion passes with a yes, 71 votes.
Okay, this is postponed then until our April 27th meeting. Given the time, I'm going to skip our committee chair reports with the exception of a very brief report from Chris Kieselka, our chair of our Committee on Committees.
Sure, thank you, Shirley. Just an update about the Academic Assembly elections. They're typically held in early to mid-April, but as everyone knows, many departments and units, including those that support our elections, are prioritizing dealing with COVID-19 at this time. So as a result, it is very likely that the elections will be delayed until the end of April or even early May. The Academic Assembly will receive an announcement with a specific date soon. Just another item very quickly, that faculty and academic professionals have opportunities to serve on the committees that are listed on the provost roster of boards, committees, and councils. This includes committees such as the Family Resources Advisory Board, General Studies Council, etc. These committees involve faculty and academic professionals from across the university. And in the coming weeks, you will receive an invitation to consider serving on one of these committees. Thank you very much. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Chris. Johanna, in interest of time, I'm going to ask if we could just delay your committee report from the Student Faculty Policy Committee. And that moves us,
fine.
Thank you. That moves us to our open forum time. I'll give you a moment to let your campus president know if you have a comment, question, or whatever for the open forum. Okay, if we could go to downtown, any questions, comments, whatever for the open forum?
I have not received anything from downtown.
Okay, thank you, Samin. Let's go to the Poly campus, and I think that Nancy Cook is standing in for Yun, who had to leave.
Yes, I am. Nothing here, Shirley.
Thank you, Nancy. Anything from the Tempe campus, Caroline?
Nothing from here.
Thank you. And Ken from the West.
I had one question about if any new information was going to be provided regarding the motion that was postponed, that was tabled till next week.
It's been tabled till April 27th?
Yes, I'm sorry, till April 27th.
That will be up to, obviously CAPC has spent a lot of time and energy on this. I don't think we can ask them to provide more information, but I'll ask anyone who has additional information to provide that hasn't already been provided to channel that through Lily Wang, the CAPC chair, since this motion comes from her committee.
Thank you.
Okay, I just realized I'm here at home without my gavel. So I'm going to have to just knock on my wooden desk to adjourn this meeting. But before I do that, I want to thank everyone for sticking through this very long Senate meeting today. Thank you for your willingness to participate via Zoom. It's important, as I've said, for us to keep our governance process in working order and to exercise our privileges. So thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you via Zoom at our April 27th meeting. I'm adjourning this meeting.
Thank you.